Welcome back to Real Talk that School Forgot. I'm Chris, and I'm back with my guy Soren, and today we're building directly off of episode 4. Because once you've built a budget that works for real humans, the next question that almost everybody asks is, okay, so what do I do with my debt now?
And this episode, Chris, it's important because debt is the one thing that quietly slows people down for years. Not just because they're lazy or irresponsible, but because they were never taught how to strategize that debt.
Yeah, so today we're breaking down the three most common approaches, right? The snowball, the avalanche, and what we like to call reality. And we're not just explaining them, we're walking through real life scenarios so you can, see where each one actually works.
So, Chris, let's start off with something we want everyone to hear clearly. Debt is not a character flaw. Most people didn't end up in debt because they were reckless. They ended up there because life is expensive and emergencies don't wait.
Yeah, so think about a typical situation, right? You graduate college with student loans. You need a car to get to work. You use a credit card when, cash is really tight. Then your rent goes up, then inflation hits, and suddenly you're juggling four different debts. Not because you necessarily wanted to, but that's just because how a life unfolds.
And truly, without a system, debt becomes something you react to instead of something you can control. You're making minimum payments, stressing every month, and wondering why you never seem to get ahead.
Yeah, and that's why strategy matters, right? The goal of debt isn't just to, pay off and eliminate all your balances. It's to free up your cash flow, reduce your overall stress, and give your future self options. So let's talk about the snowball method. The smallest balance first. This strategy gets a lot of criticism from, mathematic people, but it works incredibly well for a very specific type of person. And so, a real life snowball scenario. Let's say you have $600 credit card debt, $1,200 store card, $4,000 car loan, and $18,000 in a student loan. If you're overwhelmed, staring at $18,000, because that number just, I mean, it feels paralyzing to be honest. Snowball says, ignore that for now. Kill the $600 balance first.
And when that first card disappears, something truly powerful happens. You feel capable, you feel the momentum, and that emotional win often keeps people going longer than math ever could. Who the snowball is perfect for, though, because it's not for everybody. People new to paying off debt, people with many small balances, people who sometimes feel overwhelmed or discouraged when they look at it, and people that started and stopped multiple times.
Yeah. So, I mean, where snowball can go wrong, right? Snowball can backfire if you ignore high interest debt for too long. We've seen people snowball, store cards while a 27% APR credit card just keeps growing.
Snowball is about momentum, not avoidance. If the math starts hurting you, it's time to truly adjust. And next, Avalanche. Avalanche is the math first approach. Highest interest rate first. On paper, this saves you the most money. So the real life Avalanche scenario, let's say you got 8,000 in credit card debt at 24%, $6,000 credit card at 18%, $12,000 car loan at 6%, $25,000 student loan at 4%. Avalanche says throw everything at that 24% credit card, even if it takes months to see the balance drop.
And for disciplined people, this works beautifully. You save thousands in interest, you shorten the timeline, but here's the problem. Most people underestimate how hard it is to stay motivated when progress feels invisible. And so, who is the Avalanche best for? I mean, it works great for highly disciplined personalities, high income earners, fewer total debts, and people motivated by efficiency.
And where the Avalanche breaks down, we see people quit Avalanche just because they're doing everything right and they just don't feel the progress. They lose motivation, miss payments, or honestly give up entirely.
Yeah, math doesn't matter if, your behavior and habits collapse. And this is where real life comes in. The reality strategy blends momentum, math, cash flow, and your overall sanity. And so, touching on a hybrid real life scenario, let's say you have $900 credit card at 22%, 3,500 personal loan at 12%, $7,000 in a car loan at 7%, and 22K in student loan at just 4%. So, a reality based plan might look like, kill the $900 card fast, Do that as fast as possible. And then number two, attack the personal loan next. And then three, then shift to Avalanche style payoff.
Get that quick win and protect yourself from the high interest. And that's like the reality of it. Cash flow first reality strategy. Sometimes the smartest move isn't interest rate or balance, it's monthly cash flow. So within a cash flow scenario, imagine paying off car loan frees up, $450 a month. That $450 can now go towards other debts, savings, or even emergencies.
Yeah, and cash flow creates breathing room, and breathing room keeps you from going back into debt. And keep in mind, this is unique to each individual and everyone's certain situation. So there are seasons where aggressive payoff makes more sense, and also seasons where stability matters more. And so, for example, right, you have a new baby, job change, you're recovering from, a medical incident. You have variable income.
And those seasons, minimums plus stability, is a strategy, not a failure. You got to prioritize what's kind of on your docket right now, right here.
Yeah, for sure. Debt payoff lives in your future U bucket. We've talked about the future U bucket, in previous episodes, and we talked about it last week. Automation matters, and so real budget integration. We'll talk about that. So if your budget frees up $600 a month, right? You might split it like this: $400 is going directly to your debt payoff, $100 into your emergency fund, and then we talked about, $100 into your sinking funds. That balance prevents burnout.
If debt payoff starves your life, it truly won't last.
Yeah. And so mistakes that keep people from, being in debt forever, right? Mistake number one, paying debt without changing your habits. If spending doesn't change, your debt will come back, guaranteed.
Mistake two, waiting for perfect conditions. Perfect timing, it never arrives.
For sure. And mistake number three, ignoring emergency funds. One emergency without saving sends you right back into debt.
And mistake four, comparing your progress. Your timeline is your timeline. You can't just, wait for that time to come. Time is your greatest asset. Let that timeline be your timeline. So today we went deep. Snowball, avalanche, and reality, not just theory, but real life.
Yeah, and keep in mind, it may be a mix of all three of these methods to, achieve your goals. And so, there's no set in stone way to, eliminate debt and, get on the right financial track. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us through DM, messages, comments. We're always available as a resource. And next week, we're going to tackle a topic that changes everything: why emergency funds matter more than paying off debt faster. This one flips, conventional advice to something more realistic for, real people.
And hit follow, share this with someone that may be tackling debt. And we'll see you next week.
And remember, life doesn't come with a syllabus, but your financial education starts right here.